I'll use the microphone. Thanks, Michael. Well, thanks everyone for being here. My name is Sam Lampson. I'm the business strategist for interoperability at Cerner Corporation, which some of you might be familiar with, is a provider of healthcare technology, one of the largest in the world, providing the electronic medical records that really are the technical backbone of the documentation and the real work that's being done in the hospital. The future of electronic medical records will go from being monolithic enterprise hospital information systems to being platforms. Here at Boston Children's Hospital, a group called the Smart Health IT Group has created an open source, open standard for creating applications within the electronic medical record that are vendor agnostic and allow a physician or a hospital or a place of care the ability to plug in applications within the electronic medical record that tie into code or an application or an extension that was created outside of Cerner and Epic and Allscripts and Athena Healthcare and kind of the 5 or 6 major players in electronic health records, and allows innovators like yourself to create applications that achieve specific workflows or provide specific content or functionality that those of us in Kansas City creating the main functionality of an electronic health record don't have the expertise or really focus to dive deep in these areas. So we see that the future of the electronic health record using Smart on Fire as the public API for the EHR will create an environment where developers, the developer community, supported by SDKs and other resources provided by companies like Cerner, will be able to develop applications served up in a store-like format to provide applications to the physicians at the point of care. It's all being pushed to grow rapidly because of various legislature and policy that's been put in place. And I won't bore you with the detail, but electronic record companies like mine are having to implement quickly a public-facing API that developers can use to make these types of applications. The two basic pieces of this API, which this is really what we're offering and sharing with with you as innovators, is a open and secure OAuth web tunnel. It's essentially a tunnel to the internet to access your application and send with that call the patient, the doctor, basically the context of that visit, so that when the doctor looks at it, your application can serve up something relevant to the patient. It can launch within the EHR, so it's something that doesn't have to, the doc doesn't have to go out to another window to go and launch the application. It can be brought to him or her in their workflow, in their work stream as either an extension to the side or as a full screen that they can interact with. All you as a developer have to do is conform with the standard and then provide HTML5 JavaScript type interface, which is the standard of web today. So also your back-end technology, it doesn't matter. You can create the smart web tunnel essentially using any background technology. Then once you have that patient context, the patient, the provider, there's another standard that's been emerging called HL7 Fire. Again, this isn't a Cerner product, but Cerner has implemented a standards-based API based on this basically data model for healthcare that HL7's created. These are RESTful, web-based APIs, web services that call back the basic healthcare data. So say you want an allergy list, problem list, eventing, the things that are, some of the financial endpoints. All of them are made available through Fire, and every EHR provider out there is building this API. So the promise is to go from being, making an app for Cerner. Instead of that, you can make an app for healthcare, and know that every EHR provider has implemented Smart and Fire, and your app can be implemented across different organizations. So what's being done with Smart on Fire right now? Give you a few ideas. Still looking at it from kind of an abstract level. Decision support apps have been very popular. So one example, just kind of list out here. These are third-party partners who have created apps. One is a cost transparency by merging the prescription list with external cost data. RX Review creates an interface where docs can compare the current prescriptions with potential alternatives and make that patient pay less essentially for their meds by giving them alternatives, maybe a 40 milligram pill that they can break in half rather than the 20 milligram. Just things as simple as that, and that increases adherence and makes essentially the patient experience better. I can go down the list. I can show you some examples when we finish. Embedding cross-platform services is another example. Population health, patient registration into a third-party solution, creating a full window for the physician, a full interface within the EMR, and then just adherence and person engagement. You want to have something that looks better, works better for pediatric patients rather than, the static thing that Cerner's created in their EMR. You have some flexibility, and I'll show you some examples when we go upstairs. So how smart can you be? What can you come up with that can embed in the workflow of the physician and help him or her treat patients better, more effectively at the point of care with the knowledge and innovations that you're bringing to the table? Thanks.